Hey everyone, welcome back to my latest solo trapping video. Today I'll be showcasing a clip from my solo trap. It will be me getting tested with my new solo trap comp. I will be doing some editing of the comp in the video just to see if I could take it as a smaller comp. But the first thing I'm going to have to do is actually delete my gladiators. Also, I want to give a shout out to some people from AOW, Tech and Feckhole for actually giving me some resources to do the rebuild. So shout out to them, and also Feckhole for actually testing me after I did the rebuild. So Feckhole does have a 1100% blast pretty much across the board. I will go over his stats and stuff at the end of this. He also has about 337% army attack on top of that 1100 blast, so that's what, like 1400, close to 1450 total attack, because keep in mind you do gotta factor in the army attack when you're doing stats. I know everyone likes to say there's single stat, but that doesn't factor in whatever army attack they have in their actual set. So again, he's got 337 army attack on top of the 1100% cab blast he has. I believe he has 1120 something was it range blast, and his infantry blast is a little bit lower. Again, I will go through the stats at the end. If you guys are wondering, I am just getting rid of my cav here because I'm trying to see if I can actually take this as a smaller comp. Keep in mind, because I don't really want to be 260 mil. I'd rather be around 240-ish if possible at this point. So I'm trying to get rid of as much cav as I can and see if I can still cap this if the damage isn't too bad. I will be using my war gear for this test. I will not be using my construction gear. Also, I got to switch around my wall because it's the first time I'm actually going infantry frontline on this account. Before I was going range frontline. That's why I had two cav heroes on my wall there. So anyway, so I'm going to be telling Feckhole what we need to go for this test. Obviously, I do not want to do the full counter first because it will reduce my troop comp. So the first thing, or at least I don't know, because again, I haven't tested this. I don't know how much damage I'm going to be taking in this test. Keep in mind, actually just stop the video right now. Go to the comments down below. Let me know if you think I'm going to be taking any front line reds in today's video from the full counter, from anything else. So again, he will be going, I want him to go range first because that's what I full counter, and then he'll be going infantry because I'll be infantry on infantry. Last, he'll be going cav because cav is the thing that full counters me. I'm just making sure my stats are there. I have my gear on. Those are my current stats. No ultra boost, no attack boost, none of that stuff. So this is just bare bones or anything like that. If I go to test it against Grelf, I might pop an attack boost just because he has like 2,000% combined attack between his two stuff. But again, we're starting off a little bit easier with 1,100% blast with 1,400% total. So anyways, range of blast coming in. Let's check out and see how much damage he did. 298, not too unexpected. Keep in mind, with my current comp, his Pack 5 millers will always hit my tier 2 range. You can see 199k. I did 99k to my front line. I full countered him. Not too unexpected there. And that's, what was 1120 something range blast plus army attack. Again, I'll go through his stats after. You can see what his range gear is, as max tempering on a couple of his pieces, no tempering on some of them. That's pretty much all his pieces here. It's pretty much the same. So again, he'll be going infantry right away afterwards. We do this very fast, by the way. So he's going infantry right away. Again, this is infantry on infantry. We'll be doing a lot more damage because I am in infantry wedge. So I think my cav gets put in the back. So infantry will do a little more damage to infantry wedge than foul. I think that's how it goes. Again, he did, what was it, like 221 to my front line. Pretty much the exact same amount of damage with the Pack 5s. That's his infantry blast. A little less tempering. I think a little more mythic champ in that as well. So I'm going to release his leader, and then he'll be going cav right away. So 416k damage, 194k to my backline. Again, his infantry is a little bit, or infantry attack is a little bit lower than his other two. 221 to my front line. Pretty decent, so no reds on that one at all. Not even close to getting infantry or frontline reds, which is good. So Cav Blast is going to be coming in right now. Let's see how much damage he did. Obviously dropping quite a bit of might on that with that tier 3 frontline. 142k reds, So what that means is I took no reds in my front line. So 545k in the front line, again around 200k to my back line, 199k. Pretty similar to what the range does for Pack 5 Familiars. So in the end, took no reds in the front line, which is looking really good, at least from 1100% attack. Again, I have not tested within a max account. That's his Cav stuff. You can see, was it like 4-piece Mythic Champ with tempering done on his non-Mythic Champ pieces. So again, shout out to Feckle for doing the test. I will have to find someone who's a little bit stronger to test me as well. So very excited about this, that I took no reds from a normal kind of good rally lead. Again, not a max Titan. I don't think, obviously, I'm going to take 0 reds from a max Titan, but if I can keep it under, like, let's say 400k reds, a couple 100k in my front line, I think that actually might be okay for a maxed account. So I'm going to maybe ask Grelf to help me out with that. So anyways, let's go to the game and we'll go over the reports a little bit more. Hey, so we're in the game again. Again, this was Feckle here. You can see he has 569 levels, 270 stars, 150 castle stars. Really good account. Again, this is a normal kind of top tier lead, not a max account. I will have to test it. Maybe on Brawls and maybe Grelf, one of the two, because I know Brawls has around 1300% single stat attack with army attack on top of that, and Grelf now has 1500% a cav with 400 and something or close to 500% army attack, which is pretty insane. So let's go over the reports one more time, just slowly, so we can see what actually happened. So this was the range attack. You can see the familiars he sent here. It was a tier 4, tier 5, pretty normal. This is what most people will hit you with. I could test pure tier 5, but not many people go pure tier 5 because they're losing a lot of tier 5 then. You can see 99k to the front line, that was my infantry, and then 199k to my back line, which is the Pack 5 Familiars. You can see what heroes and stuff he sent on there as well, and then we'll go over to the infantry one next. Let's just go over. So infantry here, 416, obviously a little bit more damage, pretty much double what the range does, which is, it's kind of normal if you see it like that. 221k to my front line, 194k, so a little bit less from the Pack 5 familiar damage on my back line. This is what he sent. Again, tier 4, tier 5, a couple Pack 5 familiars and everything else. So again, pretty normal attack there. And then the last one, which is the full counter, which is I was hoping to take no frontline reds. Keep in mind, if you're running a tier 3 comp, you can technically run something very similar to what my comp is right now. The difference is you won't have tier 4. So what you're going to do is switch those tier 4 to tier 3. So you probably want tier 3 backline as well in the range and the cav. Obviously, you want more than 700k because tier 3 is not as strong as tier 4. You can also add a bigger tier 3 frontline since you won't have the tier 4 in there. So you could actually make that your biggest squad, where I can't technically make it my biggest squad here unless I do some changes around, take out the tier 2, add some tier 4, all that stuff. So it'll be a lot more changes to my comp currently. But honestly, if I'm taking a little bit of tier 2 reds, that's not really a big issue for me from a full counter. The big thing is I don't want to lose my whole front line if I'm taking a full counter. So again, I will have to test it on Grelf as well. So actually, let's just go over and check out Feckle's stats as well while we're at it. He did send me his whole stat breakdown. So we'll start with his range stats. So he was nice enough to actually send me his screenshots of this. This was what his stats are normally. I think this is with a fort boost. So he's at 1123 for range, and it was over 1120. Whereas his range defense, it is 484, and he has, 530% range HP. Taking a look at his army stats in his range gear, he has 302% army attack. So his army attack is a little bit lower in his range gear than his cav gear, but his actual attack is a little bit higher. And you can see when you look at the total damage from the Pack 5 familiars, they are almost exactly the same because his combined army attack and his combined range attack is pretty much the same as his cav and army attack. So it's pretty close. You saw the damage, 199k. You can see he's about 30k less on army attack, and about, what is that, like 20% more on range attack than his cav. So again, 548% army HP. So he actually has close to 1100% combined between his range and army HP, which is pretty good. So I think I gotta actually go out of here 1 second. So let's take a look at his infantry attack, because that was the second hit. You can see it is quite a bit lower than the cav and what is called range attack. You can also tell that with the Pack 5 familiar damage that he's doing. It is doing about 5k less, which means he has less attack. You can take a look at his infantry defense and HP. He's got 463 infantry defense and 495 infantry HP. Taking a look at his army stats, they are a little bit higher than range. He's got almost 50% more army attack in his infantry set than his range set. So it does make the gap a little bit smaller. So when you're looking at what's called 1033, it's actually more like 1080 if you put the army attack difference between the range attack and the infantry attack there. So he is down like, what's like 50% or 40% attack from his range attack total between the two. Army defense 331, his army HP is 557. So very similar there in HP and defenses. So again, that was his infantry attack, and we'll go on to his cav next. So taking a look at his cav attack, so this is his cav page. He's got 1101% cav attack with 437 cav defense, and what was his cav HP? 489. So again, he did very similar damage to his range. And you see he has 337% army attack, which is kind of making up the difference between the what's called range attack and his cav attack here. So it's very similar. Again, both over 1100% and 337 on top of that. So cav is technically, what's that combined? What is it? 1101 plus 337. Keep in mind, he did not pop an attack boost, so this is his non-attack boost stats. If he pops a 70, he's up close to 400% army attack on this, but he decided not to for the test, which is fine. I didn't want him to waste a 70% attack boost on a test, so there it is. So again, I will find someone a little bit stronger to test me now and see how many reds I take, because I will be taking reds against a max account. It's just how many, and if it's within a acceptable range, the comp is actually pretty good to go then. So yeah, again, 1100%, 337. He's got 310 army defense and 566 army HP. So again, pretty good stats across the board. Very happy with the results. If you guys have any questions about the comp and all that, let me know. Again, I will probably be getting rid of some of the cav in the comp, which is why I was hiding them. I just didn't want to get rid of the cav and then be like, oh shoot, I actually needed those cav, and then pull them back after and have to rebuild them after. So instead I was just putting them on tiles and stuff like that. So I got rid of, like, what was it, like 1.3 million of them. Maybe I'll try the same thing against Grelf. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.